Well, with the World Cup basically being played in their backyard this year, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to do our first skyline architecture build of none other than Dubai. Now, there is some obvious fascination to unpack here from a wealth perspective, but honestly, more unique is Dubai's insane population growth. They had 48,000 people in 1967, and now over 3.5 million people live there. To say they kept up is a gross understatement. They did so extravagantly. Dubai has more buildings over 1,000 feet tall than any other city in the world by a long shot. And that includes the Burj Khalifa you can see here. We'll be building in the time lapse today. Let's go ahead and jump in and unpack the magic, how they pulled this off. Here we go. So how does a modest pearl fishing village in the middle of the desert become a world powerhouse? Well, they discover oil and make insane infrastructure investments. After striking oil in the mid-1960s, within a decade, Dubai had built a game-changing desalination plant to make use of ocean water, made massive investments in ports and waterways that exploded trade, and expanded their airport. Those foundational investments paved the way for these iconic buildings that followed, starting with the Emirates Towers we're finishing up now that were completed in the year 2000. One tower is a hotel, the other office space, both over 1,000 feet tall. Also eclipsing the 1,000-foot mark is the Burj Al Arab that we were working on now, a hotel that sits on an artificial island just off the coast. You can spend a night in the royal suite for a cool $28,000 and fly in on your chopper if you wish. The helipad above the building's 59th floor has been used as a boxing ring, a tennis court, and even a car racetrack, as you can see in this photo here. No thank you. Now to the big dog, the Burj Khalifa. Amazingly, the Burj Khalifa is over a half-mile tall, higher than any other building in the world. It was made with 330,000 cubic yards of concrete, which is 5 times as much as what was used to build the Empire State Building. Now, most fascinating for me was that they keep this building cool in the desert heat by pumping 250,000 gallons of water through a total of 62 miles of pipes each day. Now that is engineering. Well, here we are with the finished Dubai skyline, and as we take a closer look here, the phrase that comes to mind is, if you build it, they will come. And they did, and they came from all over the world. Dubai's population is almost 90% immigrants. That said, Dubai and the UAE, and the UAE is the country that Dubai's in, have done a fantastic job making sure that the citizens of Dubai, especially the original citizens, more on that in a second, have gotten to participate in the upside along the way. So I mentioned original citizens. If you could prove that your family, you had ancestors there prior to 1925, you are granted the highest level of citizenship. It's like a kind of a hierarchy from a citizenship perspective. You are granted the highest level of citizenship and have crazy benefits: free water, subsidized electricity, free healthcare and education, obviously, loans and land to build homes for cars. It's really amazing what they've done there. So that was really, really cool. But just jumping back into the build, one of the first things I mentioned was the desalination plant that takes that ocean water and makes it more functional for use. So the new desalination plant that they have in Dubai has a daily capacity of 550 million gallons per day. So I don't know if you've ever been in like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That is over 900 Olympic-sized swimming pools of water, a ton of water. Moving on, I wanted to jump to the Emirates Towers. So the Emirates Towers, one of the cool things that they do every year is they do a charity sky run. And so this is a charity event where they have people run up the stairs of these towers, which is 1,334 steps or 52 floors. This year, the male and female broke the world records. The male went all the way up the 1,334 steps in 6 minutes and 52 seconds. That is over 3 steps per second, holding on to that for 7 minutes. Mind-boggling. I wanted to hit on the Dubai frame that I didn't talk at all about in the time lapse. The Dubai frame, really cool. It is a museum, an observatory. You can go up in there and kind of from one side you can see New Dubai, and from the other side you can see Old Dubai. So really good architectural add there, and of course it is the biggest frame in the world in true Dubai fashion. I also wanted to hit on the Burj Al Arab again, and what I wanted to talk about here was the foundation for this. So the foundation for the Burj Al Arab, and honestly a lot of other buildings in Dubai because of the sand base, but there are 230, okay, stay with me, 230 5-foot concrete rods. Now, wrist to wrist is 5 feet for me, okay? So imagine this, 230 of these, driven 130, each one driven 130 feet into the ground. That is how they have basically the foundation for the Burj Al Arab. That is collectively almost 6 miles of a 5-foot concrete rods underground supporting this. And again, very common to have those concrete rods, they call them piles or pilings, under these buildings to keep them stable in that sand base. So super interesting there. A couple other things I wanted to hit: no income tax in Dubai, so wealthy are flocking there and continue to have high population growth. The other thing I wanted to mention is that oil is less than 1% of their GDP. So when you think about the Middle East and the wealth, you're thinking all this oil money. Dubai has done a phenomenal job. Their leaders have done an unbelievable job diversifying their economy. They will do well far after the oil is gone. They are a financial powerhouse globally. And so oil really doesn't play a meaningful role in that. So I want to touch on that as well. But that wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed this build, I would recommend you go check out the Taj Mahal, another really cool architecture build with a lot of fascinating history. We will see you next time.